All right, we're testing the microphone. It is day one of Fun Bear Camp. This is the bear camp where I slay a giant from above in a tree with the old stick and string, bow and arrow, Robin Hood style. Yeah, we're at True North Outfitters. Gonna have a fun hunt. Out here with Jason Hansen. I just outshot him at the archery target. It was a tough shootout at 14 yards, which is the distance to my expected shot range for my bear. Should be standing still for a long time, broadside. Should have a good 20 minutes to decide. So maybe not that long, but no, it's gonna be fun. I'm looking forward to this. This is gonna be a fun hunt. There's some big bears. Got them on cameras. Guys here done all the work before we got here, but it's gonna be fun. We'll introduce you to the crowd here, but good old bear camp in the north. Welcome to True North Bear Camp in northern Alberta, where Rice Krispie treats come in 4-foot blocks, get cut with chainsaws, and somehow convince giant black bears to walk into a 12-yard bow shot. I'll be honest, I've avoided baited bear hunts for a long time. Not because they aren't work, they are. But because my part of it never seemed all that challenging. Building a bait site, nursing it for years, and keeping bears coming, that's hard work. Showing up and shooting a bear, well, that didn't sound like much of a test to me. And to be honest, I wasn't wrong. But what surprised me was how much I'd appreciate this hunt. Not because it tested me physically, because it didn't. But because it revealed things to me I hadn't seen before. To understand what makes this hunt interesting, you have to understand how these bait sites work and why the bears respond to them the way they do. At True North, these bait sites aren't random. They're engineered. Most of these sites have been running for decades, some over 20 years. And over time, the design has been refined to control how a bear enters, where it stops, and how long it stays.
All right, this here is our bear crib. We've got it baited up. We cut all of our cribbing. We've covered our bait. We'll come back tomorrow or the next day and check it. And we'll look to see if the logs have been moved. And we'll check for pad marks around to see whether the size of the bear. And we'll know if it's been hit, if our logs have been cracked, is what we call it, has been moved around, and the bait has been pulled out. The little ones can kind of start going like, I cut them 4 little ones.
The cribbing slows the bear down. He has to work for it. Helps the bait last a little longer.
So why are the logs stacked on the tree like that?
So they can't get behind it. The birds and other small animals get behind it and pull it out. We want the animal, the bear, to come in here, because eventually back here in this big tree is where we're going to put the stand, and we'll have a nice broadside shot at the bear as he's feeding here. And that's why we cleaned all the willows out here, before we get a good clean shot. We'll be able to sex it, tell the size
Every site has a built-in backstop to stop bears from approaching head-on. It forces them to come in from the side, quartering toward the stand. That does two things. It gives the hunter a controlled shot angle, and it keeps the bear's attention off the tree. Lanes are cut deliberately, not wide open, just enough visibility to see the bear commit, but still tight enough that he feels covered.
So what are you doing here, Marty?
Well, we like the bear's backs to be at least hip height. So right here, right there, we'll make a mark for the hunter knows
How tall it is?
how tall the bear is. He has something to judge.
Nothing here is accidental. Every log, every tree, every opening is there to shape behavior, not just create opportunity.
Now they'll have a judgment of how tall the bear will be. It'll be 3.5 feet tall to its back, or better.
I like that.
I like this spot. Feels real quiet. It's about 5 o'clock, 5:30 or so. I get up here in the setup. Hopefully we see a giant come in tonight. That's the plan. Freshen up this bait. Go for it. At places like this, with some bait sites over 20 years old, you're not dealing with naive bears. You're dealing with animals that have grown up inside a predictable rhythm. Every day a human shows up, leaves scent, leaves food, and then departs. And nothing bad happens.
Full tub worth of meat and cookies and Rice Krispies squares just pushed right out of the crib. Look at them digging for the grease.
Over time and over generations, that teaches bears something important. Human scent by itself doesn't equal danger. It becomes background information. That's a great sign. That's awesome. I like this setup's a little further from the bait. Bears don't just learn where the bait is. They learn when humans are there.
Good luck, buddy.
Settled into this tree stand, and when I got here with Jeff and Marty, we took a look at the crib over here, and you could tell it'd been hammered. So there's been a bear hitting it, and a pretty big one too. It's interesting, the bear was really digging in deep, trying to get at the grease underneath all those cookies. We call them cookies, but they're really just the world's largest Rice Krispie treat that's been cut up with a chainsaw. But these bears, they love it. Got a lot of meat and scraps in there too. But the site was baited last night and the day before. Every time they leave, bears are coming in and smashing it up. There's a good sized bear that's been showing up, so and everything looks like a bear when you're sitting here like this.
interesting. When a bear finds a food source, it's almost like Mother Nature has programmed these bears to be just absolutely obsessive over that food source. I always say, like, a bear's stomach is like a elk's sex drive during the rut. It just seems like bears, especially these black bears, they get on these baits and they get bold. And to them, it almost doesn't matter. It almost doesn't matter what's in the way. They don't care. They're getting on that thing and they want that thing so bad. It seems to override all their judgment. They're willing to fight anything that tries to take it. They get so possessive. That bear's hauling ass. He grabbed a cookie and got the heck out of here. He's coming back. Figured he would. He'll keep sneaking back for more snacks. Probably do another drive-by. That is unnerving. It's a little bit weird. Well, he just picked up and got out of here pretty quick. Hopefully that means a bigger boar is coming in. He, climbed that tree for a minute with that food in his mouth. Then he climbed back down and just kept running. Dude, that was weird when he came up to the bottom of the tree stand and stood up on his back legs and was like checking me out. That was pretty cool. He'll probably come back again. He'll probably keep doing that until something bigger comes along. Very cool. Got the heartbeat up a little bit as he looked like he was going to climb my stairs. Let's come say hello.
This bear is noticeably bigger than the first one. He walks differently. He's noisy when he comes in, breaking branches and pushing brush. He doesn't look around much either. The younger bears come in quiet. They stop, they listen, they're checking their surroundings. This bear isn't.
It's a much bigger bear. And it looks pretty big.
I'm having a hard time judging him. This is the first time I've watched bears this close from a tree stand. I know he's big. I just don't know how big yet.
Much bigger bear. Don't know if he's a shooter. He walks like a big bear. He's much bigger. But I still don't know if he's a giant.
Judging bears is tricky, especially old ones. Tall, skinny bears are the hardest. Long legs, narrow waist, not much fat. Girth can lie to you. A thick bear can look older than he is, and a lean bear can look younger than he is. I can see ribs on this bear. I can see shoulder blades. But that doesn't tell me his age. It tells me his condition. He's lean. Either stressed, or he's been out-competed, or he's just built this way. His leanness becomes meaningful when I stack it with other clues. He's tall, long frame, mature structure. That doesn't guarantee he's old, but it does move him out of the young bear category. He's too tall to be young. The real giveaway is his head, his Roman nose. That heavy arched curve along the bridge of his snout. The term comes from old Roman statues, strong, convex noses that bulge forward instead of sloping back. On bears, you don't get a Roman nose when you're young. It takes time. Unlike humans, a bear's skull doesn't really stop changing as it ages. Their facial bones just keep remodeling year after year.
But he's not like Fat Albert.
Bears generate enormous bite force. The muscles that do that, the temporalis, anchor to the top and sides of the skull and pull hard every time the bear bites. Bone responds to repeated stress by reinforcing itself. Over years of chewing bone, hide, and frozen food, the skull thickens. The nasal bridge gets heavier and the face pushes forward. And that is what creates the Roman nose. Testosterone plays a role too, especially in mature boars. Years of exposure encourage thicker, more robust facial bone. That's why old boars look meaner, heavier, and more bulldogged than young bears. You almost never see a Roman nose on young bears, and you rarely see it in sows. It's real bone growth. You can see the curve even on cleaned skulls. A straight or slightly concave nose usually means a younger bear, and a mild arch means mature. A heavy Roman nose paired with a blocky head usually means one thing: an old boar.
mostly. It's pretty cool. Both bears have come from off to my right, both times through the tree line.
That nose tells me he's lived a long time, and bears don't live that long by accident. I don't know it right now, but this bear is actually blind in his left eye. When you're judging an animal, reference points matter. I know the marks on these trees are about 3.5 feet off the ground. From a tree stand with the angle, that mark is hard to use, unless the bear is right up against the tree. And every now and then, he is. And when he is, I can see he's tall.
Chasing off that little one. Climbed up a tree for a minute and then climbed back down. There's 3 bears. I think I might shoot him if he comes back. It's so hard to tell. He's definitely mature. He's big. He's the dominant bear.
Right now, there are 2 other bears here, good-sized bears, and he's pushing them around. Moments earlier, I had a pretty good bear walk this same trail, up close. And now in my mind, as I compare the two, I realize this dude is way bigger. As soon as he gives me an opening, I'm gonna take him. He's old.
It's a quick death, that's for sure. That death moan is tough to hear.
That sound, hunters know it. It's called a death moan. It happens when the lungs collapse and air is forced through blood as the body shuts down. It sounds worse than it is. The bear is already losing consciousness. You don't hear that sound from a distance. At 10 feet, there's no separation. You're part of it.
Well, that's real. Man. You see a bear die like that, it just makes emotions. I'm just being real. Put that arrow right through him. Went like 10 feet and died 20 feet. Oh man.
This is the part most people never see. They see the shot, they see the celebration, but they don't see this.
Yeah, I'm just gonna be real. You shoot a bear at that range so close, you know you're taking a life. And then to have him die right here, right underneath your stand, and bears do a death moan, you hear that, and you're really aware of what you've done. It's like mixed emotions. It really is. And, yeah, take as much of that meat as you can, and you use it, and you take the fur, and you take the oil, and it's a renewable resource in a way, and there's lots of bears. I mean, so many. My family loves bear meat. And, one thing I've said a million times is when you break down a bear or any animal, you take it and you quarter it up and you put it in bags and you pack it out, and then you get it back to the house and you butcher it, and then you can it, or you freeze it, or you make sausage out of it, and it's like cathartic. And there's just a mixed emotions, man. Hunting is just not that simple.
Killing is part of how we live. Most people just don't have to see it. As hunters, we do. And it doesn't make it easier. It just makes it honest.
All right. I'm gonna get down here. Man. Jeez, what a big bear. Oh, wow, that's a nice bear. Man, I was having a hard time telling how big he is. He's a big bear. Wow. He's all rubbed and everything on his paws. Look at that. I could tell he was pretty rubbed, which also made me think he's got to be a lot older than I thought he was. But, oh yeah, that's a big old head. Oh yeah, nice. Wow. Holy crap. Oh man. Wow. Guys,
This camera isn't doing it justice, but wow. Whew. That is a, oh, look at those teeth, they're gone. Look at that. Oh, dude, he just done a big old bear. Jeez. Holy cow. Dude, I'm a terrible judge. That bear's big. That's a big old bear. Man, compared to the mountain bears we're hunting, this thing's huge. Look at the feet on him, the front paws. He's old. His teeth are almost gone. All rubbed. He's a big old brute. Man, when he came in and when he came stomping through, I knew he was big, but he's not like fat. He's just old and long. And then when he got over here to that bait, I was looking at him and, but when he came under my tree and looked up at me and I saw him and I saw how close he was and he turned and he walked back away from me, I was like, holy crap. He was like, each step he was like jiggling. It's like, this is a much bigger bear than I thought. Anyway, wow. Oh. Oh my gosh, this thing it's huge. I can't believe it. He's missing a claw. I mean, this is every bit as big as these Prince of Wales bears I've taken. It's not longer. I can't believe it. He's huge. What a cool I was so worried that I'm not shooting an older bear, and what a relief. Oh, look at this thing. Wow. That, folks, that's a stud. That's a stud bear. Oh man, that was cool. I hate it. I know when I shoot an animal, I always have such mixed emotions. It's like I'm so excited that I've done it, and at the same time, you just took a life and it's over. But this bear's old. His teeth are worn down. His claws, he just looks, he's all rubbed. You can tell this bear's been around a long time. This is the kind of bear I'm trying to get. I took my time. I really didn't want to shoot this bear until I was convinced he was older, and he is. I couldn't be more. Wow, what a bear! What a bear! That's a 9-incher.
It's a 9-incher.
And the master baiter would know.
Yes, he would.
She's 9, 8.5.
There's a pull to the floor. My feet melt the snow. For the arrows I break. 'Cause
Hey friends, thanks for watching the video. Here he is, the old toothless monster. Big old boar from this video. Got his fur in the back of the truck here, his hide. I'm gonna talk about it in just a minute, but before I do that, I wanna mention Eric Lee. He was the outfitter and guide from last week's video, 15 yards. He's got a grizzly bear slot open for this spring. He's got one. I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna help you do the hunt. I'm gonna film it. So if you're interested in doing that hunt, he's got one available. When it's gone, it's gone. Go to Alaska Adventure Services and check that out. And if you have never done a baited black bear hunt, you've got to check out Jeff Downing's outfit at True North Outfitters. He's probably booked up for a while, but gosh, man, that hunt was way cooler than I expected. And this bear, for reference, these are both Prince of Wales black bears. Skulls are pretty big. This is a very big black bear, mountain black bear in Idaho. You can see like the skull sizes are just different. And then somewhere in between, leaning on the larger side, these Alberta black bears, they still have some big old skulls, but their bodies are big. And this bear I shot, he's bigger than I realized. He's so thin and lean and old.
that I just couldn't, had a hard time getting his age figured out without more girth. And anyway, I'll put a picture up right now of him hanging from the post. And here he is in the back of the truck, but he's all shrunken now. He's shrunken and tanned, and still he's the width of the truck. His nose is at the front. It's a 6-foot bed. Typically a 7-foot bear it's about, after it shrinks, 5.5 feet to 6 feet. He's right at the 6 foot. His tail's like 3 or 4 inches short. Big bear. So check out True North Outfitters. And if you want that grizzly spot, give Eric Lee a shout over at Alaska Adventure Services. All right, hear me out. It might look corny, might look cheesy, but I'm telling you, this Peak sleeping bag is money. It's absolutely amazing. If you don't have one, you should consider getting one. And right now, if you go shop at Peaks and you get one, you'll be entered to win this grizzly bear hunt with Alaska Adventure Services. I'm going to be there, help you do the hunt, and I'm going to film it. So you got to check it out. Also, if you shop this week at Peaks, we're going to give away a Peaks sleeping bag to one lucky person. So not only are you entered to win the grizzly bear hunt, but you could also win the sleeping bag. We'll pick that winner next Sunday. So head on over there this week. You could win the sleeping bag, and you'll be entered to win the grand prize of the grizzly bear hunt. If you don't have the Peaks Gators, that's a solid buy. Like, everybody should have a pair of these. They're honestly like best in class. They're an incredible gator. I think it is the best gator. I know it's a bold statement. If you get the med kit at Peaks right now, you get double entries actually for the grizzly bear hunt. Everybody needs a med kit. This one is legit. We take the guesswork out of it for you. The kit is practical. It's got everything you need for the backcountry. It's weight conscious, but it's got all the stuff that you need. It's a must-have. So go get yourself a med kit, and you're going to get double entries for the grizzly bear hunt. I can't recommend the sleeping bag enough. In fact, at the end of this video, I'm going to share a video clip that didn't make it into last week's grizzly bear film, and you're going to see the world's two most frugal human beings on the planet actually endorse this sleeping bag. Yes, Eric Lee of Alaska Adventure Services and my dear friend, Anthony Spencer. They're two of the most frugal people on earth. Getting them to buy a piece of gear is challenging, to say the least. And I had them both begging, wishing for, dreaming about. Well, Anthony had one, but Eric didn't. Eric was borrowing mine. This sleeping bag, they're believers, and now Eric used it for the whole last season. Stolen by his wife, though, and kids. This is something you should get for football games, for your wife around a campfire. I mean, it's versatile. I've talked about it before, but it's a sweet sleeping bag. So we're going to get into that. You can watch the clip at the end of the video, and then you can hear the world's two most frugal human beings make a case for the sleeping bag. For all of you that got into the comment section last week and left me a comment, I just want to say thank you. Appreciate that so much. Lets me know, it's like the pulse of my filmmaking. Am I on the right track? Am I connecting? I try to keep it real. That's why the comments got a little spicy last week. I'm not going to sugarcoat the hunts. They are what they are. And it's hunting. So I hope you guys keep leaving those comments, because I truly appreciate it. I really do. And if you left a comment, you were entered to win some stuff from Peaks. I can't remember what I promised, but I'll go back and check. But you were entered to win some gear. It's same thing if you left a comment or if you shared it on social media. So on the social media share, Jacob Jones, Jacob_WGM, for sharing a post on social media, on Instagram, and tagging me. And for leaving a comment on last week's video, we got the Loa Experience. He says, "That was probably the best video you have made." Well, thank you, sir. You guys said it. You don't want it to happen, but you dream of that hunt all the same. Yes, sir. Thank you. All right, guys, DM me or email me your address, grittybowman@grittybowman.com, and I will get the prizes shipped off to you. Guys, leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think of this week's video. And if you share the video on social media, which I very much appreciate, I'm going to give some lucky person a headlamp from Peaks. All right, guys, I'm going to sign off with this video clip of the world's two most frugal human beings endorsing the Peak sleeping bag. Don't forget, you can win it this week if you shop, and that also gets you entered to win the grand prize of the grizzly hunt. Thanks for supporting me. We'll see you next Sunday. Stay gritty.
Well, yeah, we're always like falling sucker to new gear. It's some improvement on, something's been around forever, but not very often does it really, move the needle very far. But this sleeping bag, for some reason, man, is night and day different.
Well, I'll tell you, I'm a big skeptic. This new gear, super leery about anything that's new and improved. You got to show me in a real life situation how that's actually going to improve my life much before I'll buy into it. But I'll tell you, Brian did it with, I got to get me one of these now.
Well, the thing is, like Brian said, you haul this sleeping bag. Not that they're super heavy, but they take up some room. And the only thing it does is that you sleep it in your tent. Like that's the only use you get out of it. It's not multi-purpose at all. But now you put armholes in it. You put a hood on it. You get a zipper, 3 zippers. You can get your legs out. And all of a sudden you use it. And I'm like snug as a bug out here.
You can stay out here so much longer.
Totally.
You were saying your daughter would love it.
Yeah. My daughter loves to be out here, but she gets cold real easy. She gets from my wife. My wife gets cold super easy. My wife's just not into coming out here much, but my daughter loves to be out here. She gets cold easy, so I got to get her one of these just so.
Every time I put this on, I think my wife's going to steal this when I get home. My wife will take this in a heartbeat. She'll use this for all kinds of things.
Yeah, I'm really happy with how it turned out.
They're awesome. And they're so comfortable. Like, I hate mummy bags. I'm a big fat guy. Mummy bags are usually so uncomfortable. And this thing's got some stretch in the middle. It's got extra room in your foot box. I love the center zipper.
I like how you can bend it.
Yeah.
It's funny. Anthony in a teepee, he's not the most limber, flexible person.
Sitting up in a teepee or flat on the ground with my legs out is the most strenuous activity. It's like the worst yoga pose in the world. I don't sit up flat on the ground very well. I've gotten better since we've been here, though. But yeah.
It's back keeping me warm. Dude, I told you not to let me use this thing.
It looks comfy, though.
It is very comfy.
Yeah, we're working on it.
Yeah, dude, I like this little style like this. Just simple, light, super lightweight, functional, very functional. So,